What's up, guys? It's August 14th, 2017, and it's about 7:35 p.m. I'm getting a late start today. If you've watched the last couple videos, they were pretty long from the day at the theme parks, and they took a long time to edit. Those were the longest videos I've ever made. So today's my 14th year of being paralyzed. It was about 4:30 in the morning when I went down the water slide and broke my back. It was my fault. Unlike a lot of people, it wasn't their fault, so they have someone to blame. The only person I can blame is myself. It was my decision, my choice, and I did it. And I suffer the consequences. So be careful on things you do. Now, I know I might be a little, what Heather call it, reckless. That's because of who I was before I was paralyzed. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a daredevil or a stuntman. That's what I was into. I love doing that kind of stuff. Alright, like I was saying, 14 years of sitting on my butt. Kind of believe everything happens for a reason, and stuff it's kind of hard to explain unless you know my life really well. Although I was, when I first got injured, I wasn't the type of person that got depressed or anything. When I was sitting there on the slide and I realized I broke my back while I was still trying to reinflate my lungs, I accepted it right then and there. I had to. I knew exactly what happened. I could feel my spine bulging out of my back. I knew I knocked all the air out of my lungs. I didn't know I collapsed a lung and pierced it with my broken rib. But right then and there, I accepted I'm paralyzed. I'm going to be paralyzed probably for the rest of my life. And it's not like I lost hope of walking again, because you can ask anyone. Everyone knows I want to walk again. Sorry, bumpy road. Hold on. Like everybody knows, that's one of my goals, is one day walk again. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm still going to try to make the best of my life the best way I can. And I remember one thing they told me in the hospital. Is they're like, because I was curious about the wheelchair. What kind of wheelchair am I going to have? I didn't know anything about wheelchairs back then. But I used to work with a guy when I worked at Clairson Industries, plastic injection molding company, where I learned to be a machinist. And this one guy, he worked in the tool room with us, and he was in a wheelchair, paraplegic. And I was amazed by him because he did everything on his own, He drove a truck. He did everything. So I was in the hospital, and they tell me I'll probably have multiple wheelchairs. A wheelchair for, every day, a wheelchair for off-road, like going to the beach or hiking or whatever, and if I want to play a sport like wheelchair basketball or racing or something like that. So I was actually excited. I was like, oh, okay, that won't be so bad. That'd be pretty fun. That never happened. I went to rehab and I got stuck in a folding Quickie 2 HP. For some reason I picked yellow. And that chair was heavy. It had a sling back. It was uncomfortable. It was horrible. I hated that chair. And I rode in that thing for 7 years. I got sick of it one day. And after I got paralyzed, probably like a lot of you, I just didn't know what to do with my life. Like, what am I gonna do now? Okay? And I started playing World of Warcraft because I didn't know what else to do with my life. And for like 7 years, I played, maybe 5 or 6, I don't remember how long I played WoW, but I played WoW for a good long time. And for any of you that used to play WoW Vanilla, and a little after that, Burning Crusades and all that, I was like, all right, I need a goal I need to accomplish something, because I mean, I would wake up, play a video game all day and do nothing else. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a license. The reason I didn't have my driver's license is from a car wreck that happened before I got paralyzed, and then my insurance company went into liquidation and I got sued by State Farm, and I'm still paying for that. And that's how I got my license back finally, is I worked out a deal with them. So anyway, so I had a goal to build my character to the best it could be, and that was Grand Marshal. So for 3 months I worked my way up and to that point, and I barely slept for those 3 months, and I got my character as high as he could be. I got Grand Marshal, #1 on the server, which was cool, you know. I felt like I accomplished something. But after that, I lost all interest in the game, which was a good thing. So I put my character on eBay and sold it for 500 bucks. And with that 500 bucks, I bought the materials I needed to build my own wheelchair. Because, you know, I got a background in machining, I got a background in designing, and I got a background in art. So I put all those skills together, designed a wheelchair that I could build with the tools I had access to, and I built that chair. And I rode in that thing for a long time. It was a good little chair too. It was very lightweight, way lighter than my folding wheelchair. That thing was like 38 pounds. My chair was like 13 pounds. It was crazy. So that kind of gave me some confidence, and it felt good, you know, because like I accomplished something. I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's been 14 years, but I'm so thankful for where I'm actually at. It's been a wild ride the last 14 years, and I've learned so much. You know, I wish I could go back knowing what I know now, because I would be a completely different person. I was reckless back then, very reckless. I goof off being reckless now. I'm not really reckless now. I just play around because it stresses Heather out, and she has heart attacks, and I find it funny, which is probably mean, but you know, like going downstairs, like that one video, paraplegic wheelchair stairs. Like, that is not the safest way to go downstairs, and I plan on making a video that's showing you the safe way. But it's a way, I've done it so many times, I'm very comfortable doing it. It's just, you know, like curb drops. I can do that all day. I've never fell from a curb drop. I've never fell from going downstairs. I know what I'm doing on that. It may seem reckless, but to me it's not, because I have experience doing it, and I've practiced it a lot. Usually when I do fall is when it's something unexpected, or, you know, something you can't plan on. But usually if I have control over the situation, everything's fine. I guess the point of the whole story is, you know, if you're a new spinal cord injury, don't give up. I mean, life will give you some unexpected turns and bumpy roads, but it does get better, especially when you get used to it. And it took me a good 10 years to get used to my body completely. I thought I knew what I was doing like a year, even 2 years after I was paralyzed. Like, I thought I knew everything about it. I was totally wrong. I've learned so much in the last 10 years, it's unbelievable. And I mean, it doesn't mean you're not going to be able to date again, because a lot of people are worried about that. That was one of the things that went through my head. Man, is anyone ever going to want to date me now? But before I even left the hospital, I was dating a physical therapist. I guess I was lucky, but I had a girlfriend before I left the hospital, after I got injured. I was in the hospital for 21 days. 14 of those days, I wasn't allowed to eat or drink anything. And 3 days after being in the hospital, I was begging a nurse, which, Eric, if you're watching this, don't blame yourself. It's totally my fault. But I mean, I was begging and pleading and manipulating him to go get me a ham sandwich or something to eat and something to drink. And eventually he did. And boy, did I pay for it, because my stomach blew up like I was 9 months pregnant. It was huge because my body, it was just shut down. It wasn't digesting anything. So then they had to stick a tube all the way up my nose into my stomach and pump it out. And they tried doing it first, and I was like, there's no way I can do this. And I pulled it back out. It was just so painful and annoying. And, you know, looking at my stomach, I'm like, okay, I have to do this. So eventually we got the tube down my nose and pumped out my stomach. So I wasn't allowed to eat or drink anything for 14 days. I mean, they would give me a sponge once in a while to suck on, but that was it. Like, I just wanted something to drink so bad. After 14 days, everything started going back to normal a little bit, and I was slowly starting to eat. And then after 21 days, I went to rehab, and I was in rehab for, I think, 10 days. Because I hate hospitals. Once I got in the hospital, I was like, okay, I need to get better as fast as possible so I can just go back to living my life and figuring that out. Went to rehab, and I was feeling pretty good by then. I mean, I was still in a lot of pain, but I was just happy to be out of the bed, you know, because they make you do all kinds of stuff in rehab. And sitting in a wheelchair, it was like really natural for me. I could balance it already. I could wheelie, you know. I didn't have a lot of strength yet, because when you get paralyzed, it like zaps all your strength away. It's especially not eating any food for 14 days. I was very weak, but I picked everything up quick, you know, because I just wanted to get it done. I was motivated because I wanted to get home. I hate living in a hospital. It's like the worst. Looking at it now, you know, I'm happy to be where I'm at, but I'm not where I want to be. I have a long ways to go before I'm where I want to be. And the first step is getting my business started. I can't wait to share all of that with you, because that's what I'm like really passionate about and excited about the most. I just can't talk much about it. So like, if you're gonna see my passion come out, that's when you're gonna see my passion come out, is when I start talking about my business and what it can do for a lot of people in the same situation as me, wheelchairs. So I mean, I guess I can tell you a little bit. I'm going to be starting a wheelchair manufacturing company, designing and manufacturing custom ultralight manual wheelchairs with a whole lot of attachments that will make your life so much easier. Stuff that nobody else has out. It's going to be revolutionary for mobility. I can't wait to go into more detail with you, but that's all I can say for now. But I guess that's the end of the vlog. Ashton should be coming out any minute. I'm sorry it's just a talking head today. I haven't had time to film anything. I've been editing those 3 videos, those short little how to transfer to the ride ones, and which that didn't take long at all. And then I had a bunch of work I have to do, and I still have more work to do when I get home. And I was supposed to go to Gainesville all week, but my mom hurt her back, so I don't want her picking up Rylan right now with her back hurt. So I'm gonna have to reschedule that with my work and work from home this week, and then next week I'll go there and finish training them on the CNC. For now though, that's it. I will see you all tomorrow.